Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have tails of whales that got away?
We had fish that got away. We had fish we got to the boat. Yeah.
That's
it was,
good.
It was good. And the week before that, I was in Campeche. So it was like kind of the Mexican tour, the Yucatan.
Yeah.
Chasing juvenile tarpon in the creeks of the mangroves down there in Campeche.
Yeah, juvenile's good because the big ones will kick your butt.
Yeah.
That's good. And then we have a very, very, very special guest. This is Miss Desert Willow 2023. Be my guest. She will be the next Miss Arizona, Taylund Stuhr, all the way from Poca de Nero. Oh. Thanks for coming down.
Thanks for having me.
And top of the gene pool over here, Tyson's over here.
I'm just transportation today.
You're just transportation.
My personal bodyguard.
Listen, okay, I love this guy, but there's a couple new rules that we have to live by.
Okay.
We don't smoke weed with Willie, and we don't ride with Tyson. Okay, that's it.
I learned that one the hard way this morning. It was like I was in the Baja 1000 down the back.
I want to know, did he change that right front wheel bearing?
No.
No. Okay, all right, say no more. Okay. All right, who wants to kick it off? What's happening?
Trying to stay out of trouble, but there's a lot coming up. Right now, next weekend, we've got the Skeeter Open tournament. That's going to be at Lake Fork.
Yep. Downtown Texas. Yes, sir.
Looks like there's a little bit of weather that's going to roll in for that. There's 80% chance of rain for the 3 days. And
there's always something back there.
It's Texas.
It is.
It's Texas. I imagine the fishing is going to be great. I checked all the lake levels. They're all up.
Yep.
So it should be a really good turnout. Last year, there were a little over 1,800 that were entered into that.
Whoa.
And those of you that don't know, it's a big fish, and they have a slot on the lake. So the short story is if you have the largest under, it's a side-by-side that they give the first place to. And if you have the largest over, they give you a brand new, fully rigged Skeeter boat with a 250 on the back end of it. I think it's I don't want to misquote, but it's their top boat that they have out right now. So
sweet.
It's a pretty sweet deal, and it's the owner's tournament. You have to either be fishing with somebody who owns a Skeeter or own one yourself, and pay the entry fee. And for $150 for the entry fee, it's not a bad deal.
Crazy. That is just
not a bad deal.
How many days are you going to be there?
I arrive on the 9th, and I fly home on Sunday night. So on the 11th.
Yeah.
It's a great event. Great event, a lot of good people, and it's people from all over. So not just Texans. They're from all over the place. Anybody that's got a Skeeter shows up. Yep. I know that we've got, I think, 4 or 5 people from Arizona, including Deegan Doherty, who's one of the juniors that fishes with Phoenix. And he was there last year. I believe he and his father are going again this year. And, of course, we've got our dealers that are out through the area, through the region.
That's cool stuff. Tell me real quick about East Cape. One of my favorite spots. That was the actually probably the highlight of my saltwater experience with a Grand Slam on the Marlins in the sales one day.
Okay.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah, super active down there. I mean, we had several blue marlin on. We got a couple of them to the boat. Had a double hookup at one time, blue marlin. So this is on fly rods. Tons of yellowfin tuna. Tons of those, right? A few Dorado. But really what we were down there to chase were the rooster fish. And, man, those fish can be tough to catch. Yeah. Maybe the most challenging fish that I've ever chased. Even more challenging, I think, than a permit.
Then they look like the devil himself.
They're pretty cool.
They're scary fish. Okay, Miss Desert Willow, you're up. What's going on?
A lot of stuff. Mainly just getting ready for our state competition here in a couple weeks.
There you go. Yeah.
So mainly just getting ready for. Sorry about that. Mainly just getting ready for our state competition, which is happening June 22nd through the 24th.
Where?
Mesa Performing Arts Center. So if you go to the missarizona.org page, you can go and find all the tickets, links, and people's choice.
Okay, how much competition do you have?
So I compete in a couple different areas of competition. I compete in private interview. So I will go in and talk about my platform, which is agriculture in the classroom and teaching youth any age of kindergarten to college students about
That's pronounced Utes.
youth.
Utes, yeah.
All about agriculture and just the importance of farming. So I get to do a little bit about that in my interview. And then we have our evening gown competition. So I get to walk around, parade around in a gorgeous dress. Woohoo! Woohoo! Everybody's favorite. And then we don't have a swimsuit competition anymore. I know, bummer. But we now have fitness. So we get to show more of our health benefits that we have as title holders and how we promote like more fitness, at least now, which is kind of exciting. And then we have onstage conversations. So we get to be asked a couple questions either about our platform or the job of Miss Arizona or just kind of current events, what's going on here in the state and or our country. And then our last area of competition, we have interview, we have evening gown. I'm missing one. What am I missing? I should know this. I'm competing.
They'll let you know.
They'll let me know
Oh,
for
yeah.
sure. There's a lot
Okay,
though.
so I'm looking at your new website. Give us a thumbnail on the new adventure there at Pocono.
Yeah, absolutely. So my sister and I just launched Endora Valley Cattle Company, which has been a cattle company we've been owning for the past couple years now. So we started with a couple heifers and then started selling our beef. We were showing at our county fair, and so at the end of the year, we'd sell our product. And then after enough of people saying, hey, like, this is awesome beef, like, can we buy it? We should make a website.
Does that include Otis 1 and Otis
Yes,
2?
Otis 1 and Otis 2
Yeah,
were a part of that.
I'm going to dig some pictures. You won't believe this guy. I mean,
Yeah, but
you won't.
he was about 1,500 pounds. He was gorgeous. He was a beast.
Yeah, he's a baby.
He would sit like a dog. He had the best personality ever. I loved him so much. But our website just launched, as well as our farm store, our logo, emails, the whole 9 yards. So we are an actual up and running business. So it's been fun.
Okay, so I've heard rumors or some tales that perhaps there may be some hay rides, trail rides, that kind of stuff. Is that what you're going to move into?
It's actually in the works currently. So we
Is that something you can talk about?
Yeah, it's something I can
Okay.
talk about. Ag tourism is just a huge thing. At least in Arizona, it's starting to be. More people want to know like where their food comes from, or you just kind of decompress and get away from the concrete jungle of Phoenix. I mean, I know I would at least. So we offer a mile target. So if you want to come shoot whatever you want, you can shoot starting in our backyard, and you can shoot anything from a mile away, which is kind of fun. We have some trucks you can put tannerite in and just blow them up, which is always interesting.
There is.
Hay rides, tractor rides. If you want to come,
You just got Don's endorsement. There is.
Oh, yeah.
We got Tannerite and trucks.
Yeah.
I mean, that's my favorite.
You can sit right there at the headquarters, and in 1 mile away is a big steel target.
I may be a pageant queen, but I
didn't shoot
love
at
my
that
guns. I
because
love
you
shooting.
weren't there.
You know, and you're talking about agricultural tourism. You know, it's funny. I've got an 18-year-old. She just graduated from high school, and one day she came to her mom and I and said, "Hey, I want to go horseback riding." Steph and I have ridden in the past, but it wasn't that big a deal. And she goes, "Oh yeah, I've already found a place." So we went on down to South Mountain, and she went and did her hour and a half, 2 hours down there, and came back. She goes, "Yeah, I'll do it again sometime." But I mean, it was an engagement all on her own. I think part of that has to do with what you're talking about, some more of the agriculture that's landing inside of our classrooms and how important it is. Because Arizona in itself, we have a very rich history
Oh yeah,
with
absolutely.
agriculture out here.
I mean, it goes back generations. Here I am as a 6th-generation Arizona cotton farmer. My dad's 5th. I mean, so on. Hopefully, if I have kids one day, I can pass that on. But I mean, it is so rich. I mean, I always say I'm embedded in Arizona agriculture.
Yeah.
I mean,
When do you expect to have this adventure up and running?
it's up and running currently. So
So I can
with
come
more
and
of the,
ride a horse, or I have to ride a cow.
I mean, you could do both.
I'll ride one of his cows. I'm not riding one of my cows.
We're still working on our
Oh.
horses. I'm more of a cattle person. I'm going to be completely honest with you. Horses kind of freak me out. I don't know why. They just have too much of a brain of their own. And I'm like, it just freaks me out. You get on and they're just like, okay, let's take off, or let's lay down, or let's do something. No, if I have a cow, I have a halter. I'm controlling them. They do what I want. But horses, no. So if you
So
want to
because
come
you
to the
put a ring
farm
in
and you
their
want to
arm.
ride Geronimo, by all means, you are more than welcome to, but you never want to ride the horse named Geronimo. You want the one named like Cookie or like Pokey or something.
Oh, no.
He is naughty.
Mike Watson says, come here. You want to ride a bull? I go, yeah, I did that in the past. He says, I got this one named Cupcake.
Oh, no.
Let's let you ride Cupcake.
Was Cupcake
Hell
sweet?
no.
No?
No. He'll throw you in the dirt like a yard dart and then stomp the tar out of you. I'm serious, man.
Oh, man.
Okay, we got to flip into a break here at Fox Sports 910. We're going to have fun today. And Tyson, this is a new motto for the ranch down there. It says, wheat makes beer, corn makes whiskey, grapes make wine, potatoes make vodka. Can't get drunk without farmers. We'll be right back.
If you love wildlife and enjoy...
I mean, that is true.
I'm just saying.
100. We did have a 400-pounder come up,
Yeah.
flash, kind of boom, 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 and decided not. And so,
Yeah.
but that, you know what? Thank God he didn't. Right?
Only done.
That might not be.
Only done.
It might not be as much fun.
That's crazy.
We saw tons of marlin tailing, jumping,
Yeah.
sleeping on the water. I mean,
Yep.
it's just like they were marlin everywhere down
You
there.
see any hammerheads by chance?
We did not. We did not. I mean, I know that you can run into them down there, but we didn't see any.
Yeah, they migrate in there. You know, if you go straight out from the hotel and then turn left for about, let's say 4 miles, there's a big bowl down there.
Mm-hmm.
Are you on the Pacific side?
On the Sea of Cortez side.
Okay, so yeah, because that's a spawning area or breeding ground for them. They come in and do that.
The whales were out. We saw some whales. Yeah, there were some whales down there.
Orcas.
Lots of porpoises. Lots of
And
porpoises.
you were tempted, weren't you?
No.
Oh,
no.
come on.
I've been hooked up to stuff I shouldn't have been hooked up to before. I don't need to do that anymore.
Just hanging out with Shamu. Just kidding.
But yeah, I mean, even just from staying at the house at night, you know, in the evening, you could see the whales. Their blowholes go up.
Wow.
So they weren't that far out. You know, you didn't see a ton of whales, but you did see them.
Yeah.
Is it the shrimp that draws them in?
You know, there's just a lot of bait fish there, right? There's just a lot of bait in the water at different times of the year.
Yeah, that bait migrates up and down the beach.
That's amazing. It's fairly shallow and warm, right?
Well, there's a shallow shelf, then it'll drop off. But I mean, one of the attractions to that area, the East Cape area, Los Barriles, is you can target. It's one of the only places in the world that you can target roosterfish from the beach, and so it's super challenging. But you can see them. They'll come in close enough, and you can take shots at them. We caught one last year from the beach. Very difficult to get them from the beach, but it's possible now.
Okay, back to Chris Rich, East Cape. What were you thinking when that 400-pound plus big guy came up and flashed you?
It's exciting. I mean, you know, I'm not going to say no if he wants to eat.
Oh,
right?
yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
we were there. We had everything there, and they came up and looked at it a little. Boom, and they don't wait around that long.
Nope.
Yeah, they come up
No,
and they
you-
get a little. Yeah, there's something's not right here, and
You got to
I'm
act
out.
fast. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. What was the biggest marlin you were able to get to the boat?
I think he was probably in that 150, 175
Yeah.
range. It was a guess, right? We got him into the boat.
Yeah. And fight time?
Under an hour.
Under an hour.
Under an hour to
Yeah,
get him in. Yeah.
What weight line were you're throwing out?
Well, so with that, you've got, I think it's about a 16 weight fly rod. It's a broomstick of a stick. You're not going to cast it very far. It's not really designed to cast. So you're teasing the marlin up. You're pulling the teasers out of the water, and we kind of know where that marlin's going to end up with the last teaser, and then it's just kind of a flop with the line. And if everything goes right, they grab on, and
Boom.
and you hold on.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
how big of a flyer are you throwing?
Yeah, probably in that 12 to 18-inch range. It's a good-sized fly. It's not gonna, you're not going to cast it very far.
No,
Yeah.
Can with my bait caster.
That's what I was just thinking.
Yeah. Fly rod, oh hell no.
Yeah.
That is crazy. Okay. Back to you, Mr. Krueger. 1,800 boats last year. What are they anticipating this year at that Skeeter tournament?
You know, I had reached out to Bass Champs. Bass Champs is the host of the tournament, and reached out to him, and he hadn't gotten back to me, which is okay. I mean, they're pretty busy. They've got a lot to do. They do have 2 ways to enter to the tournament. Well, actually 3. You can do it directly online. You could mail in a check. That is no longer an option. Or you can do day of at the lake, but there's also an increase for that. So it jumps from 150 to 170. Skeeter and the sponsors that are associated to it really do an awful lot for the anglers that are out there. There were a couple of 20-foot open trailers that were loaded up with goodie bags. The other thing that they do is if the anglers bring in a toy, they are given a raffle ticket, and they have an opportunity at other prizes that are there.
Sure.
And if you happen to take a test ride on one of the Skeeters, then you get an additional raffle ticket. Yeah. They've also
Test rides are the best.
Well, Sunday they have ducks. There's 50 ducks that go out in the water, and they're all numbered. And whatever the prize is that's associated to that, you have an opportunity to win. So they throw those all over the lake. There's an awful lot that goes on between being fed, the opportunity to catch fish on Lake Fork, to the prizes, to the people that you run into and you meet and have an opportunity to talk to. It's really a nice experience.
Talk a bit about Skeeter. They've got that 75th anniversary Apex boat. Is that what they're giving away, or a lesser model?
No, it's their top line. So I don't know. It may be the Apex.
Okay.
But last year when I had an opportunity to look at the boat, we're talking electronics, motor, the whole 9 yards. It isn't one of those
Top
deals
shelf.
where you've walked in and they said, we're going to go ahead and give you a boat, and literally you get the boat. It's carpeted, thank goodness, but there's nothing else to it.
Yeah.
This thing's fully loaded on the trailer, ready to sign title and
Boom, go.
hook up and go.
What are your plans for techniques? My experience at Lake Fork, I've been there half a dozen times at least, and I have found that is probably one of the finest spinner blade.
Well, it's a great spinner blade water because of all the stumps and being able to run back in through. Larger worms, if you're going to we're in Texas rig, larger worms. I came out there last year not really knowing what was going to happen, tied on a Rico, and I had a ball.
Oh, man.
I third, fourth cast, hit it. The problem is that you're out there, and because of the slot, you're catching, 3.5, 3 3/4 pound fish that you cannot take the weigh in.
Yeah, what's the slot in inches?
12 to, I think it was 12 to 19.
Okay.
I've got to look to see if the rules have changed or anything like that, but you literally have to be on either side, because if you bring something to the scale that is in the slot, there's these wonderful gentlemen from Department of Natural Resources out there with the fisheries.
Wildlife.
And they're happy to write you that citation.
Yes, they are.
Send you on back out. It's a no joke.
They're no jokes, man.
It's a no joke. Last year, the big fish was
that program. I mean,
go ahead.
Lone Star Law.
Mm-hmm.
That's no joke. Those guys are serious at what they do.
Oh, they're right on it.
They'll arrest you for teasing cows too, by the way. So, yeah, I've seen them do it.
But last year, the big fish was 11 pounds even, and that's who walked away with the boat. And the largest under was 2.97.
Grief.
So that was a football, and they walked away with a side-by-side.
Cool. Okay, so when can I come down and ride a horse?
Whenever you'd like, Don. Whenever you're available.
I'm out of here at 10 o'clock.
Sure, by all means. We will saddle up Geronimo, and you can have the time of your life.
Nope. No, ain't riding nobody named Geronimo.
Trust me, I felt the same way when I met him. I was like, "Oh, your name's Geronimo? No, this doesn't make sense. You're fine. You're so sweet." No. You get on him after a couple of minutes.
How many horses are you going to keep down there?
Looking to get a couple, so we only have a few at the moment, just because, once again, we're cattle people. We're not really horse people. But, I mean, slowly but surely, we're kind of realizing that the more cows we acquire, And the more our business is
Did you
up
ever
and
think
running,
about getting a camel?
we need a couple more. I mean, we have donkeys, so kind of the same thing.
Close enough.
Just as stubborn, just as mean.
I was thinking the mean factor for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, reason I asked it, there was a company in I can't remember the name. It was a long time ago in Buckeye that had camels. You could go out and ride a camel. What an experience! Nastiest damn things on the planet. I'm serious. Yeah, make my ex-wife look like an angel, dude. I'm telling you.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah. Yeah, bad breath, spit, kick, pee on you. Oh my God! It's like wow.
I think that's the funniest thing I've heard all day. So thank you for that.
Oh, just, no.
It's early. You'll get more, I promise.
I mean, I've been up since 2, so who knows?
How long has this been in the works? I love your plan.
Thank you. I appreciate that. It's been in the works for about a year. I mean, technically, Dendora Valley Cattle Company's been in the works since I was 12. My sister was like 10-ish. So if you go to our website, Dendora Valley Cattle Company, and you go to our store, you can read kind of about how we got into this. Started with like swine at our county fair, realized we hated it, and we just were not very good with pigs. We're like, hey, let's give cattle a try, and then just one thing led to another, and here we are now with way more head than we need and starting to sell cattle everywhere in the state of Arizona. It's kind of fun.
What's your page? Because you just mentioned it, but
Yes.
I don't know what it is.
So it is a cattle company.
Okay.
So we sell quarters, halves, and wholes, individual cuts, bundle boxes, as well as seasoned salts and seasonings that we make in-house at our ranch. And then we also have honey. So we have bees. So depending on what we have in the ground. So at the moment we had some mesquite trees. So we put our bees right next to them. And so we have like mesquite flavored honey. It's pretty dang good. Dawn got some smoked salt this morning. So hopefully we can give that a try. But we just sell a couple different things on our website. But ag tourism is something that's going to go on our page here in like a month. So you can shoot our mile target. You can come ride a horse. You can use any piece of equipment you want. And then we also have an Airbnb in the works. So you want to
What's
stay on
that
the ranch for the
URL?
weekend. URL, so it is Dendora Valley Cattle Company.squarespace.com at the moment. We have like a thing with GoDaddy, so we're trying to get
It's all right.
Dendora Valley Cattle Company.com.
Just as long as we get the URL out
Yep.
there.
So just Dendora Valley Cattle Company.squarespace.com. So.
Being a conservationist, I will tell you this. This gentleman right here is exemplary of what a farmer/rancher should be. He's got dove plots that he grows for the hunting community. How many acres? 80 acres that are maintained for dove hunts. We had a youth hunt, we invited folks from Game and Fish to get away from their office and come down and shoot doves. ADA supplied a breakfast and some lunch, and it was pretty heartwarming. One of the big takeaways, Chris Cantrell's up there in the hierarchy of Game and Fish, was a branch chief, now is in charge of development, but he brought his young son down there that wasn't a hunter. He is now. Absolutely. I mean, that kid is all over a 410. So, between the dove plots, there's javelina opportunities down there. He doesn't do anything special for the javelina. They're just a nuisance. And I think at last count, the head count was about 81. So that needs to be thinned out. And
I've only had javelina jerky once that was good.
was good.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Only one time.
They're just nasty creatures.
They are.
They've got a musk about them that if you're downwind, you know it's coming. It's
Yeah, they're like eating bad armpit. I'm
I was
telling
going
you.
to say, from the way they look to the way they taste, they're just bad all around. Like,
Yeah.
ugh. Ugly looking creatures.
Yeah, that's crazy. But yeah, anyway, if he and the Bar S, we've been talking to Andrew up there, and he sent me a map of his waters, and he's putting in conservation corridors and all these waters for wildlife. We just finished 5 or 6 wells down there at the Poco that are feeding wildlife. It's heartwarming. Anyway, when we come back, James Guggenauer, I don't know whether he's the master rod builder today or Commissioner Guggenauer, but we'll check him out and see what his pick is for NASCAR. I'm Don McDowell, Fox Sports 910. Woo! All righty, we're back. Coming to the stage right now, James Guggenauer from downtown Payson, where the weather is probably just awesome. James, what's happening?
Hey, good morning, Don. And the weather is awesome. 53 degrees last night here at the house, and we'll be in the mid-80s. It's been beautiful up here this week. Tunnel Basin is in the low 60s for the evening, and they're getting up to the mid-90s in the afternoon. Little breezy in the afternoon, but fun time to be on the water fishing for sure.
Let me ask, did you get any of the smoke of that mulch fire coming out of Mesa?
No, we didn't. I was noticing to the south that I could see some of that, but the winds were kind of blowing more from the west, so they didn't blow up this way, fortunately.
Okay, yeah, I was out at Gila Bend, Poca de Nero, this past week, and that smoke was terrible. It was awful. But anyway.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, I have to ask, what's going on at the Mother Lake?
Hey, it is wonderful. This morning, for those of us that get up at 2 o'clock in the morning, like your guest there, they probably noticed that the full moon was setting this morning at about the same time the sun was coming up. It was just phenomenal out there. And because of that full moon and the mild weather that we've been having this spring and early summer here in Rim Country, bass are still on beds. I still got reports this week of guys seeing fish on beds, but the favorite technique that people are switching to now is more of a post-spawn, kind of a reaction bait in the morning, and as soon as the sun comes up, they're going to a drop shot.
Yep.
15 to 25 feet of water, as you know, Don, off a main lake point right now, will catch you probably more fish by 10 o'clock than you want to fish.
I was handing out some baits this past week, and one of the ones that I think is very prominent right now is stick jerk baits in about 8 feet of water that suspend.
Yep, any of those types of slow-moving baits right now, bigger fish, or the majority of fish, have probably moved into a summer pattern just because it's there. But there are always some lingers. Now, the ones that are spawning didn't sound like they were really big fish that were up spawning, but it's just amazing for June. Just the moon phases and the temperature has everything to do with that, and it's pretty amazing. The other thing is, the Roosevelt Lake is, again this week, a 100% full. So the water level has been extremely stable for the past, what is that now, Don, 6 weeks? We've been talking about 100% full.
Yeah.
Water temperature 70 degrees, so perfect spawning weather. The salt is flowing at about 500 cubic feet per second, which is down significantly from where it's been. So we're starting to see water flows in both the salt and the tonneau, but they're still above their average flows for this time of year. So just wonderful water conditions. Everything's just perfect. I encourage everyone to get down to Roosevelt Lake and enjoy it while we can.
Okay, if you go to YouTube, I've got a video out there on the Jackal Mask Ghost Minnow. That is a killer bait this time of the year. Absolutely awesome.
Yeah, right. Anything that's moving like that, and we always tell people, and I know you know this, Don, but for your listening audience, during the spawn, fish don't feed actively. The reason they attack baits is to protect their beds more than feeding. So once they come off of those beds, they feed heavily to try to regain their strength. So any type of reaction baits like that that you're seeing, or an easy bait like a drop shot where they can just swim by it and pick it up and swim away, those are very attractive baits this time of year.
Okay, anybody having fun with topwater?
I haven't heard a bunch of topwater, but I mean, I wouldn't doubt it. I just didn't hear any of the tournament guys are going for that.
What do you say, Mr. Bass Junkie?
Well, another circuit just finished up there yesterday, and they had 45 boats on the water. I haven't really had a chance to message anybody yet about it, but exactly what's being said here. What they're talking about main lake points, drop shotting about 20 feet.
Yep.
There's also been a couple of guys were pre-fishing and said they were throwing a drop shot out back towards the bank and bringing it out, and in less than 3 feet of water, catching quality fish.
Yes, sir.
They were struggling a little bit to kind of figure out where everybody was at, but they knew that if they were throwing the kitchen sink or anything else, they were going to get bit at this point. So it's beds, it's post-spawn cycle. The fact is we are really in a great weather pattern for this time of year.
Right now, yes.
And it's very enjoyable to be outside versus opening the door up at 5 o'clock in the morning and feeling the heat already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, anything else to add on behalf of the Mother Lake before you move into the department news?
No, I think that would cover it. It's all fun, even the trout fishing up on the rim for those that like to get on the streams. Last weekend for Memorial Day, we just had a ton of people fishing up there. So, throughout rim country, fishing is just excellent right now. Great time to be up there.
Well, I have to tell you, we've had a huge discussion about the properties and the importance of Green Valley Lake. I don't know if you've heard through the grapevine, but your WM Travis Clarkson met with a bunch of us down at Gila Bend, and there's talk of expanding the park pond. I did a rough measurement on it. It's like just under 3,400 square feet. We want to increase it to a full acre, about 45,000 square feet, dig it down about 15 feet, 3-to-1 slope, treat it with bentonite on phase one, get the water in it, get it stabilized. One of your fisheries guys was up from Yuma. Emma was up from Yuma. And Jim Lawrence has put out a real nice flyer. I'll get that email to you today. What we're trying to do is partner with the industry, some of the NGOs. I get a little bit of kickback, from my board. Well, it's not for wildlife stuff. No, it's for kids. Okay, it's for kids.
Yep.
And
I did see that flyer from the ATA.
Okay.
And that's a great project. That pond over there is just a little too small for stocking, and then the recommendation is being out there to make it a little bit deeper and a little bit bigger is absolutely the right thing to do. Make it a useful place that people can go fish over there in Yuma.
Absolutely. The phase two would be to landscape it with some shade, willow trees. There is a old time, and we're trying to get the date on it, but guys, there's a jail there, an adobe jail that is still intact. The roof caved in, but the rest of it can be rehabbed. What a great place for a concession stand. If the kids act up, you can lock them up in the back.
There you go.
Simple. So anyway, keep an eye on that. We'll keep you posted.
Sounds good.
Okay.
I want to remind everybody that the commission meeting is going to be this Friday in Payson, Arizona, June 9th. So if you're looking for an excuse to come up and go fishing, you can attend our commission meeting. Starts at 8 a.m. on Friday, and we're going to be at the Gila County Supervisor's Office complex right by the post office there on the Beeline. And we got a full agenda, going to be exciting topics down there. One of them is the super big game raffles, allocations, along with an HPC update. So a good meeting. I hope everybody can make it up.
Outstanding. I know when you said that, Chris Rich's eyes lit up. Oh, fishing? Payson? Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, and for you, Don, I'm gonna switch on you today, brother. Kyle Larson had a little bit of trouble through practice. He's going to start at number 22 position today. So I'm going with Kyle Bush, who was on the pole today.
Tell me that again.
Kyle Bush.
I can't believe you said that.
Yeah,
Xandra, disconnect the commissioner. We're done here. No, I'm going to go out on a limb. I'm going to give you three. It'll be Larson, William Byron, or Joey Logano.
Logano.
Those are all good choices. And I hate betting against Larson because he's won 3 times already this year. But I don't know. It sounds like he's got car trouble to me.
I know, but he's the comeback kid, man. I'm telling you. And the good news, I'm going to have something to say back to YouTube. What's his name? Denny Hamlin's one of the dirtiest drivers on the circuit, and he's bad mouthing Chase Elliott. Somebody just needs to slap him and Bubba Wallace and Ross Chastain, as far as I'm concerned.
So you're going to have to change the name of the show from Hunting and Fishing to Hunting and Fishing and NASCAR.
Well, yeah, that's it. You know,
Seems fitting.
it's seasonal. All right.
It's getting better now.
Okay, the only thing I have to add on behalf of AZGFD is the 6th at midnight is the deadline for your fall hunt permits, which includes sandhill crane, buffalo, not bison, they're called buffalo. I don't care what Director Gray says. And javelina, mule deer, white-tailed deer, and what did I forget? Turkeys.
Whatever, all the fall hunts.
Turkeys.
Make sure you get your apps in.
Yeah. Okay. I'm going to wish you the best rest of the weekend. God love you. Thank you for your participation.
Thank you, Don. Bye.
All right. I'll be in touch during that race, too, by the way.
Okay.
All right. We got to flip into a break. When we come back, we're going to get updates from all of these guys in here and contact information so you can see their websites and what they're up to. I'm Don McDowell.
Greg Krueger with
Chris Rich.
Taylund Stuhr.
And Daddy over here. All right. We'll be right back. Okay, back to Chris Rich. You guys are pretty active at AZ Fly Shop. Shoot your address out there and give us a rundown of what's happening next week.
Physical location is 3254 East Cactus Road on the northwest corner of the 51 freeway and Cactus Road. AZ Fly Shop on the web, azflyshop.com. Facebook, Instagram, YouTube.
Twitter?
No Twitter.
Oh,
So
good.
stayed away from Twitter. Yeah.
It's
I don't
getting
blame
better.
Is it? Is
Yeah.
it getting better?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I haven't gotten any hate mails lately.
Yeah.
Well, I did. I put a vlog out there that, life used to be really simple, that we had cowboys, then we had cowgirls. We got cows, and now we got Caltrans.
Mm-hmm.
How do you think that's going to work out? I'm just saying. Bass Junkies information?
It's BASSJUNKYZ.com. You can find all of our tournament information that's coming up for the 23-24 season. We've got some retail items that are out there now. We went ahead and did a Patriot shirt, but we're finishing up that store. There's some interesting things that have to do with e-commerce. And
real interesting.
I'm a lot better probably with hammer and nails than I am with a computer board. So
Boy, tell me,
it's a learning curve.
Doug, I got to hand it to Doug. He's been having technical difficulties for the past week. He's about to pull his hair out. I'm about to pull his ears off. So it is challenging, to say the least.
There's a lineup of retail items, and they're all made USA.
Good deal.
We're keeping it local and staying with that. We've got some great suppliers. We've also got some great sponsors around here. In fact, just recently I dropped a bunch of stickers off at a couple of our different sponsors that are out here: Copper State Tackle, Phoenix Fishing Supply, and Performance Sunglass Warehouse. So
those guys are awesome, right there. That's three of the best of the best.
Well, you talk about as a tournament circuit and relationships. We were talking a little bit about that off air, but the relationships that we have inside of the community, it is most definitely a community.
Yes.
So I completely appreciate everything that's going on there.
Yeah, I can't say enough for the way he runs his business in Gowdy and Copper State. The big box stores are great to go in, go and get your stuff. You don't talk to anybody, and unfortunately there's a lot of good people that work there, and I'm not picking on them, but the guys working in the fish department don't know their butt from a bobber.
We that is hitting the nail on the head right there, because you go into a store that is specifically towards anglers in my world, specifically for anglers, supporting anglers, can get that information out versus going to a retail specialist in a big box. And I am keeping all of our support driven towards our mom and pop places that walk in, might not know your name right off the bat, but if you start asking,
They'll get it.
they can get it, and they can take
All
you
right,
right where you need to get
your
to.
information, we got a couple of minutes before we go to break.
All right. So my website is Dendora Valley. That's Dendora. I know that confuses a lot of people. So Dendora Valley Cattle Company .squarespace.com, and then our address is 47007 West Poco de Nero Road, Gila Bend, Arizona 85337. So that's where the ranch is at. That's where all the magic's happening down there. Come see the cows, come have dinner with the cows, whatever you want.
Okay, so if I come out there, I can ride your cow?
I mean, I have a couple of them that would let you like sit on top of them, so sure.
Okay.
Got a couple of my heifers are super sweet.
Boy. Yippee. Okay, I have to ask, where did the name come from?
So where we're at, so our farm is Poco de Nero. I mean, it's my dad's, Tyson Stuhr. So, I mean, just kind of looking at the map, there was this like small little speck, and it was called Dendora Valley. Just kind of like where we're at, because we like dipped down into the valley, and then that's kind of where our farm was. And we didn't really know that for a couple of years. And so just kind of more research, you're kind of looking at the map, and we're like, Dendora Valley, huh? And we Googled it, we searched it up, and we're like, what the heck is that? Like, what does Dendora mean? It means absolutely nothing. Like, it is strictly just where our farm is, for whatever reason.
So that's not an old family name for
No.
that area or anything like that?
It's just, it's been there for a really long time. I mean, you can
Yeah,
look on
there's
a
no
map.
cowboy named
I mean,
Denny.
if you go to our website and you go to like our
And a
address,
cowgirl named
and then
Dora.
you look at a map on it on like Google Maps, it'll say Dendora Valley. I mean, it's been there for years. It's kind of wild if you think about it, but
Woohoo.
yeah, we were like, hey, it's there, we'll use it. Kind of cool. It's different.
That's good stuff. Okay, do you have any classes next week?
We've got Fly Fishing 101. It's the primer to fly fishing. Wednesday evenings, twice a month from 6 to 8. It's the class that the fish do not want you to know about.
Okay.
0 to hero in 2 hours.
Bingo. What do you need to bring?
Bring yourself.
That's it?
Bring yourself. We've got everything's in the shop. We've got a classroom there in the shop. We walk you through the shop. Why all these different fly rods? What is fly fishing? Look at all these. We've got over 3,500 different fly patterns
Get out of here.
in the shop. How do we decide? Where do we use? What are they? Like all these questions. We demystify the entire process in 2 hours.
If you don't mind me butting in, what is your age group of the classes you teach?
You know what? We have young kids come in and up to people that are 65 years old. I'm retiring. I want to fly fish. I've always wanted to fly fish. So
Wow.
everywhere in between. Men, women, children, all colors, come as you are.
Really? That's good stuff. All right, hey, we got to flip into a break, get this first hour shut down, and come back with Matt Shearer, more tournament information. I want to pick his brain on reaction baits and perhaps some suggestions from Mr. Bass Junkies over here. I'm Don McDowell.
Greg Krueger.
Chris Rich.
Taylund Stuhr.
Fox Sports 910, 99.9 FM HD2. We'll be back. And I'll be back.
The first time I did anything.
Hey, thanks for joining us for the second hour in studio. We have Bass Junkies. Mr. Krueger is here. Mr. Rich is here from AZ Fly Shop. And the next Miss Arizona, Taylund Stuhr. Miss, tell me about Desert Willow real quick.
So a fun fact about like the Miss America organization. So there's several different pageant systems. You probably think of like Miss USA, Miss America. So I'm a part of the Miss America system, like I mentioned. But in order to compete at Miss America, you have to win a local title first. So you have to win in a city or a county of some sort. So I went up to Yavapai County because it was an open pageant or scholarship program, and I was able to compete, and I won Desert Willow. It is not a real place. It is just a title that I got. So now I can be kind of anywhere I please and do my acts of service and promote agriculture and farming and hunting, whatever I may please from anywhere. I mean, I go to school in Tucson, I live 30 miles west of Gila Bend, but then I'm always up here in Phoenix, so it's kind of nice just to have an open title. So that's a little bit about that.
And now you can
So
run
you're a
for,
Wildcat, is
Mist
that what you're
Endora
saying?
Valley.
Oh, heck no. Ugh. I go to Pima Community College at the moment.
All right, hey, joining us from Parts Unknown, we'll figure that out. Matt Shura is on the stage. Matt, what's going on, brother?
Hey, good morning. Good morning. Just here at Roosevelt Lake still.
Oh, cool. What's happening over there? We had some news from Mr. Guggenauer, but what's your take on what's happening?
Yeah, I got to say, Jim's right on. I don't want to sound like a broken record, but man, he had some good advice for everybody. But I got some night fishing stuff last couple nights at Roosevelt, and before I spill the beans on that, I just wanted to throw out, we tried to go to Apache and got out there a little late and totally forgot about the road closures. There's certain days that they're closing that road from the Roosevelt Dam, to get to Burnt Corral and fish 7 at night to 7 in the morning. So if you're looking for an early start on Apache, check those road closures for sure, because I got caught in it. So we went to Roosevelt instead.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Jim's absolutely right on. The topwater stuff, the Ricos, the Spooks. I love to throw dippers early. And there was a Fishing 48 tournament in the morning Saturday, and my good friend Danny Hallett just killed him on buzzbait. So I didn't hear a buzzbait mentioned, but he caught a lot of fish and weighed 14 pounds for 5 fish, so he did real well.
Yep.
Brad Cook and Brad's a good friend and one of my mentors that really taught me how to fish, or catch fish, I'll say. I knew how to fish, but catching them was another story. But anyway, he found a couple spots, and just like Jim was saying, main lake points, that kind of thing. But I'll just add to that, any kind of flat with a break line, salt flats, goose flats, when you can find that little drop-off, those fish really use those break lines as highways. So 15 to 25 foot, just like Jim said. But at night, I just, we're not looking in the tournaments, we're not looking to catch numbers of fish, we're looking to catch big fish. So I know a lot of guys out there throwing those big Strike King 10XDs. They're giant crankbaits that dive 20-plus foot.
Yep.
We were throwing, we caught our fish. We ended up third place. It's a 3-fish tournament, so Tracy with Let's Talk Fishing is trying to, help manage the fish a little better and everything. So we went to a 3-fish limit, weighing in a little earlier at midnight. So it's a 5 to midnight tournament. And Brad Cook and I ended up third place. We had 3 fish for 817. We had a couple 3-pounders and another 2-something. So it worked out well. We ended up third place and won $850. So I was happy with that. But we caught our fish on, and like I said, the bigger baits. He was throwing a full-size brush hog, watermelon candy, Texas rig, and I was throwing a 10-inch power worm and green pumpkin. So at night, I just like that little more water displacement where those fish can really find it, and a little heavier weight, half-ounce weight where it really clunks the bottom. And I've switched to tungsten, even though it's expensive, but it just makes a little more noise, and fish are attracted to that noise. They want to, know what that noise is and see if there's something to eat. So, but we caught quite a few on the Strike King 6XD crankbaits, 10-inch worms, and that brush hog. So I think we ended up with almost 15 fish. We caught them 15 to 25 foot, anywhere there's a little break line. And one tip I can give to everybody is, I believe almost every single fish, because there's so much brush out there because the lake's full, and there's this flooded vegetation everywhere. You just be pulling through a tree, through the tree, and all of a sudden the tree swims off, and that's a fish. And that's they're just suspended, hanging in those trees, and that was definitely the key for us. So it was a lot of fun. And we had the full moon, the weather cooled off perfect, after dark, and just a good time for sure to get out and catch some fish. It really seems like it's picking up. I know there's still some fish up and everything, but on beds or whatever, but with this full moon, I think we're at the tail end of the spawn, and a lot of those fish are backing out to those deeper trees and structure, that 15 to 25 foot, just to kind of recuperate and get ready for that summer pattern. That's kind of where we're at right now.
Anybody that you heard of slow rolling ounce and a half spinner blades?
We did. Just 1 ounce. Yeah, 1 ounce spinner baits. That's Brad's go-to bait. And yeah, he did not get bit on that spinner bait. They wanted that crankbait. I don't know if it's the noise with the rattles and everything else, but I know that spinner bait's deadly. And there's an art to it, just slow rolling it, cast it out, let it sink down, and come in contact with every single thing that's down there, whether it's a rock, a boulder, a tree, brush pile, any kind of structure. And that's, I hate to bring it up and brag, but, I did catch a state record on a spinnerbait, and that's exactly how I was fishing it when I caught that almost 16-pound largemouth. It's just barely turning the blades. You just barely want those blades turning. And so many people buy a spinnerbait and just reel it in and cast it, reel it in, and say, oh, this spinnerbait doesn't work.
No.
Make contact, make that noise, that deflection.
Yeah.
So, but,
that's crazy.
I was going to tell you that Fishing 48 tournament, some guys found them, and they weighed 21 pounds for 5 fish, I believe.
You said that was
22 pounds.
You said that was Danny Halleck and his partner?
No, Danny had 14, and 14, Danny actually fished by himself. Danny caught him on buzzbaits, but I heard a rumor the winners were throwing crankbaits, but I don't know. I don't know for sure, but I'll just add that this lake is so big, 22 miles long, and there's so much vegetation, so much, stuff to fish. It's
everywhere looks good.
It's always been, and it's kind of spot specific. So we literally sat on the same little break line for 2.5 hours and just kept catching them. They move up, move out, move up, move out, and we'd have bang, 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 catch them. So don't get discouraged if you're not catching them. Keep moving, keep looking for those break lines, and when you find an area, it's just real spotty. There's guys that caught 1 or 2 fish all day, and there's guys that caught 21 pounds. So it's just it's a challenge, I'll tell you. But when you find that good area, you can load the boat quick. So it's a lot of fun. So in our tournament, the winners had 14 pounds for 3 fish, and they had one almost 6 pounds. So there's some real nice fish showing up, and I think we're just, and everybody knows when these lakes fill up, all that flooded vegetation and structure and the nutrients that go into the water and all this fresh water coming in from both ends from the tonneau and salt, these fish just grow. They get healthy. The shad grow, the yellow bass grow, and they snack on those yellow bass, bluegills, crawdads, shad. So I just think this lake is the healthiest it's been in a long time.
We're going to see a new state record come out of there here pretty quick. What's your next big tournament?
Actually, we have another night tournament here in a couple weeks at Roosevelt. Let's Talk Fishing. And then I'm headed to Arlington, Oregon for the Wild West Bass Apex Cup tour. So a place I've never been. It's a river system. So it's going to be a challenge. They just drop us in. There's no pre-fish. We can't even get information. You don't give me any advice. they do lie detector tests and everything. So they just want us to go fish off our instincts, just like we talked about before with that circuit. It's a challenge. It truly is a challenge, but it's a lot of fun.
One of the requirements is you have to convert from Republican to Democrat left wing. Just to get into the state.
Just that one location. just that one body of water.
Leave it to Don, man. Not afraid to say what he's thinking.
Oh, hey, man, I got to tell you, NASCAR ran the Infinity cars up there, and they made him put Black Lives Matter stickers and Antifa stuff on the front bumper. Come on, really?
Yeah, I try to stay away from that stuff and all that, but I hear you.
That's why I got body armor. Okay, I get it.
Check your
Oh, man.
All right, anything else to add on your behalf?
Yeah, just one last thing. I had a real positive deal because everybody thinks all the smallmouth are gone and Apache and, smallmouth seem to be a little weaker. Yeah. Yeah, I actually talked to a very credible source that found a school of them in Apache and caught 7 in a row, and he was throwing a jerkbait. And that's just really good to hear, to know those smallmouths are still in there, because that was one of the best smallmouth fisheries in the Southwest, you know. So
Here's
that was exciting news.
Here's an overlooked technique in lure, is inline spinners parallel to the bank, 5 feet of water on chunk rock shores.
Oh, that's a
You
staple
will,
at Apache.
you will find the smallies.
Yeah, if you weren't throwing a Panther Martin or a Yellow Jacket back in those days with
Yep.
Floyd Prees and all that, I mean, they just remember Chi Chavez, even, you know, Larry Lunt, those guys just dominated that lake, and they threw 6-pound line and a tiny little spinner and
That's right.
caught giant fish and beat us all.
Shattenberg, that was a Shattenberg ding. Yep.
Absolutely.
All right, we're going to wish you the best the rest of the weekend, and a happy next week.
Oh, thanks, guys, and enjoying the show, man.
Okay, we'll look forward to having you in studio here real quick.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, Matt Sheriff, one of the best ambassadors we got for the fishing. Anything to add on Roosevelt? Anybody?
No, it's
What do you think?
Think about what?
Roosevelt, worms in a bobber, water dogs.
I'm gonna be honest, I don't know much about fishing. I'm more of a hunting person myself.
Hey, John Romer had a really good day up there about a week and a half ago underneath an indicator fishing crawdad patterns, catching smallies.
Oh, yeah.
Had a great day.
On Apache or Roosevelt?
Roosevelt.
They're there.
Yeah.
every now and then they come across the scale.
Okay, we got to flip into a break. Normally at this time we would call Chris Rich. So, hey, call Chris Rich this segment. Okay, we'll be right back on Fox Sports 910. Alrighty, a lot of good information being passed along by our guests today. One of the things I wanted to ask you: how are your accommodations down at East Cape?
Oh, they were fantastic. We were in a beach house, so we were literally right on the beach. You could get up on the top of the roof. You could kind of glance and see what was happening out there. Water's crystal clear, and a lot of times you can see fish cruising in that shallower water.
What's the name of that gated community down there? The gated resort?
The Four Seasons? Is that what you're talking about? Or are you talking about Punta Colorado?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, so I think they're going to get the Four Seasons has got a big resort in there. The golf course is done. The people are staying there. Helicopters coming in and out throughout the day. I think they're building another resort, Le Mans, right next to it. That whole entire area is shifting at a rapid pace. Rancho Leonero, a longtime hotel down there, just sold here in the last year. I think it sold $38 million. It was, but they're going to take it down, put condos in. So that whole thing is,
Of course they are.
it's changing rapidly down there in Los Barriles area, Buena Vista. But our accommodations were fantastic. We were in a beach house. We had a crew that was there cooking for us. And, perfect.
Any issues with land pirates?
Not that I could see.
Okay.
We didn't see anything that was funny down there.
Well, that's good. They used to take pretty good care of the pirates and the gangsters down there. So, to protect the American tourist dollar.
Yeah. So what you do see is there are some houses as you get out and travel on the boat and you get away from the community. There's some houses. They are palatial places just out there by themselves on the beach. You're going, what the heck is that right there? What's
Makes you wonder, doesn't it?
There's another one. So apparently this is an area where it's kind of a safe zone for the cartel. So they all know that, hey, their family goes there, vacations, and all the trouble's off limits, right? So they don't bring any trouble to that area. But apparently they've got some places that their family will show up and okay, this is our safe vacation area.
That sounds like a target-rich environment. But just saying.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Saltwater experience for you?
Just out of Southern California. Just going out of San Diego, going out of Newport.
That's good.
There's nothing wrong with it.
That is the best.
Nothing wrong with it.
I hope we can get Captain Bill on, see what they just recently took over that new, or it's not a new boat, the Horizon boat.
Right.
And such a great boat. That thing is pretty comfortable. It's got bunks for 40, 8 staterooms, seats 30 in the galley, and it's a good ride. 80-footer, and unlike the Malahi, the you have to excuse me on this. I don't mean anything by it, but it's got a round bottom, and it kind of rocks and rolls, and I mean, if you're prone to being seasick, you'll get seasick at the dock. Okay, yeah, I mean, because it just sits there and does this.
She rolls and lists a little bit.
Yeah. We used to laugh at it, call it choking puke special, but the big Horizon boat, I'm guessing that's probably 80, 85 ton vessel.
It's good sized.
Yeah,
It's good sized.
It's the same length and 5 feet wider as the Malahini is. So.
We had talked a little bit about this on one of the previous shows, that with El Nino and La Nina and the way that weather cycle happens to influence the temperature of the water and how far up the tuna may run based on an El Nino. So we had, just kind of touched on that a little bit to what perhaps the expectations will be this year with fishing. Whether it's down by the Coronado Islands or what have you, but the optimism was pretty high.
There's a lot of things going on that we really don't understand. It's like the albacore. The fish biologists that, they've been studied. They don't know what they do, honestly. They got the bluefin pretty much figured out. Mm-hmm. And we haven't seen, I think you were here when we were talking to Captain Bill about the albacore. We haven't seen albacore for 10, 12, 15 years.
Right.
And he was thinking for some reason they may come in this year, but in talking with the boys up at NOAA, they're still tagging bluefin, trying to figure out. They put some Kool-Aid out. It was started by one of the left-wing anti-everything groups that we were catching in abusing the bluefin population. And as it turned out, we were catching fewer fish than they thought that we actually were, bigger fish than what they said. They said we were taking all the juveniles, and that wasn't the case because we tag fish all up and down. But what happens is when the albacore would come in that hit San Diego, just about the 220 in the dumper, come around, and then they'd swing way out, come back into Oregon and Washington, and then they make a fatal left-hand turn. They head to Japan. And you know what happens over there. It's just mayhem. Mm-hmm. So they don't know if the numbers are down. And on the bluefin side, you guys probably know this, but they said we had 2 distinct species of bluefin, the East Coast, the left coast, but now they've got the DNA and the science. They're all related, and they're thinking that we've got 200-plus pound bigger fish than we know we've got. And we know, I think the record was just under 400 pounds on rod and reel down at Laos Rocks, which is about 455 miles south of San Diego, about 150 miles off the west side of the Baja, which is all warm water current. To your point, the warm water swings are up, but and there's giants. There's giants. We had a trip on the Cape Polaris that we had 300 and 400 pound fish hooked up and couldn't handle them.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
Just couldn't. So there's a lot of bigger fish out there than we're capable of catching, especially on right now. These I'm anxious to talk to Bill to see what the grade of bluefin is, because the big grade, they never left. They've been hanging for the last 5 years as we've been watching. The problem is the anglers quit coming, so the boats quit going, so they quit catching. They don't go away.
Yeah.
They're still there.
No pressure.
And you can be catching 35, 45, 65 pound fish, and these 250 plus pounders come breezing through there, just tearing everything up. So, just saying, it's always interesting. How do you handle that besides snap? When you get geared to catch, say, a 50-pound fish, and you get something that's 150, 200-pound class coming in, which could have happened on your trip.
It does happen. I'll give you an example. So we're fishing 10-weight rods, and we're shooting for tuna, dorado, and suddenly we come by. Hey, there's a striped marlin sleeping right there. Oh, he's chasing. Oh, he's on your 10-weight. He just hooked. You just watch him come and take the, boom, you're hooked up, and you're way overpowered. You got no chance. I mean, it's not going to happen. We're not going to give up. Like we try to fight it. We back down on it. And, but a lot of times, what happens in that situation is we don't have heavy enough leader to deal with what we're going after, right? And so it ends up breaking off.
Okay. For those who don't know, equate a 10-weight or a 16-weight to a bass rod.
Oh, so the if I'm stream fishing in Arizona, I might be using a 2-weight rod, super lightweight. I'm making, this stream might be 3-4 feet wide in places, right? Lots of bush around, so I'm not making real long casts. Like maybe being able to make a cast in an area half the size of this little room here.
Okay, so we would equate that to an ultralight.
Ultralight, right? And then they go up to 16-weight rods, which is what we use to chase big sharks and big marlin with that rod. And so now we can throw heavier line. It's designed to throw a heavier fly, with more wind resistant. Most of them is going to be 80 pound, up to 80 pound test.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Using model, you using braid. What do you use?
Well, the fly line itself is going to either be a floating or a sinking line, and then we've got a leader on the end. Of it. It's not going to be fluorocarbon is what we're going to use. Yeah.
Okay.
And if we could do a cable leader if we've got something that we're going to chase that's toothy, so we might put
toothy critter wire. Yes, sir.
Yeah, so we can do that. When we go for tarpon, usually we have that 80-pound. Test on that last 12 inches of it because they've got teeth that'll abrade the line. They don't usually cut it, but they'll make it weak. So you'll put a little.
Are you taking notes?
I am.
Okay. That's going to be one of your quiz questions.
I know, it's going to be a question they're going to ask me in the interview.
Yeah,
It's all about fishing, and I'm going to be like, now I know.
I'm going to submit a list of
me, and I
questions
appreciate it.
to the pageant people.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
I'm the one that's always educating everyone.
All right, we're going to flip into a break. We're going to try to get a hold of Captain Bill on the cell phone. I don't think he's on the sat phone right now, but when we come back, we will continue our conversation. We appreciate you joining us. I'm Don McDowell, and this is Fox Sports. Captain Bill, do you have a copy? Over.
What's up, big guy?
Hey, man. What's going on in your day?
Oh, not too bad. Just got back from a day and a half.
Oh.
Excuse me, a 2-day.
Okay. Were you on the big boat Horizon?
Yeah, we're on the Horizon.
There you go. Hey, I want to introduce you to our guests. We have Tyson Stuhr's in here. We have Greg Krueger for Bass Junkies. Chris Rich you've talked to. In fact, you talked to Greg before. Chris is a fly fishing expert, AZ Fly Shop. And we have the next Miss Arizona, Taylund Stuhr, in here.
Hello.
So, you're in good company today.
Hey, what's going on?
All right, what was the catch on the Horizon?
Bonito's rockfish for us. Bluefin pulled a no-show for us again. So that's bluefin fishing, man. That's bluefin fishing.
Yeah.
I wish it had been better, but it wasn't. We got lots of bonito and lots of rockfish for our trip. It's a charter that I do every year. And, everybody fishes that fishes that trip. Fish with me on the Malahaney.
Okay.
That was good, man. It was good. It was fun.
All right. What about yellowtail? Any yellows wanted to chew?
Did not see any kelp at all.
Yeah. That is crazy.
Did not see any kelp at all.
Okay. Well,
everybody got off the boat with smiles on their face, and they had a great time. So it was a success in my opinion.
Yeah. How many guys you have on board?
30.
Whoa.
Yeah, 30 guys. It was fun, man. It was fun. It was a blast.
Let me ask you this: what's the max on the horizon?
30.
Okay, you cap it at 30. Okay.
Yeah, I can fish 44, but I refuse to do that.
Yeah. Okay. Well, our folks had some questions. You had a good question.
Yeah, do you have accommodations for couples that want to go on a trip like that?
We have staterooms. Yes, we do.
Yeah, I know that's been something real popular with our trips that we've done.
Yeah.
When we put a couples trip together, because they're so unique, and they fill up fast.
We have 8 staterooms and 12 open berthings.
Nice.
There you
That's
go.
pretty cool, man. I enjoy it. Got a dang good cook now, too. Name's Dead. Food was phenomenal.
What about some of the accommodations for the ladies?
We have 2 bathrooms, 3 showers. When you say accommodations, what are you referring to specifically?
Anything.
Well, let me put this in context. She's Miss
Too bad you guys don't have an
Desert
iPhone.
Willow,
I mean,
and she's going to be the new Miss Arizona. So we need some kind of a fluff and puff station.
Is
I
she
was going
coming
to say
soon?
outlets. Just kidding.
Is she coming soon?
She might. She very well might.
Well, I think she would be. I think he would be pleasantly surprised with the amenities on this boat.
Good to know.
It's a great boat.
Really, I really do.
Love to see
If
pictures.
you go to the website, horizoncharters.com, no. Go to the Facebook page, Facebook.com/MalahiniSportFishing.com,
Okay.
and click on that, and then scroll through the videos. I do believe the 4th or 5th video in the profile shows you a video of the boat itself.
Okay.
I think you'd be pleasantly surprised.
We have Mr. McDowell looking at some pictures right now.
Yeah, there it is right there.
I can see a screen. Holy cow. Oh
Yeah.
my goodness.
But yeah, I think she's probably one of the best boats here in the San Diego fleet,
Wow.
minus the long range guys. That do those 18 and 22-day trips.
That's the Ranger 85.
That's a long trip, 18 to 22 days.
It's a long time out there.
So it happens. It happens. It happens.
That's one way to make your wife mad.
It's funny.
I happen to know
wife told
firsthand
me-
that's a great way to get a divorce.
My wife told me in August she misses me. Then come January, February, March, it's like, hey, you got someplace to go? Hey, you got something to do?
I had the same thing as an HVAC contractor here in Arizona. May I would disappear and she'd be like, "Well, you're gone all the time," and then come back around, October. She's like, "You're here too much." So no, I understand
exactly.
it. I understand it.
Exactly. It's like, babe, make up your mind. Do you want me here or not?
I'm just going to tell you something right now. You'll never be able to win.
Oh,
not at all.
Honestly.
Not at
Makes your
all.
life so much easier. You can't win. Everything you do is wrong. Doesn't matter if it's good or bad. Just,
There
nothing you can do.
There was an episode on Roseanne where David was married to the daughter, and he had done something and gotten in trouble with Becky, whatever it was. But anyways, John Goodman kept telling him, just insisting he was right, and Goodman's like, "It doesn't matter." Yeah, but I'm not wrong, and
Life, I tell you guys.
I'm
Hey,
not wrong. It doesn't matter.
my granddad had it right. Okay, over 50 years of marriage before he passed away in the morning from a heart attack.
Gotta
And
hear this.
here's was his common word. I heard him say this more than anything. Yes, Margaret. Yes, Margaret. 90% of the words that came out of Grandpa's mouth. Yes, Margaret.
If I'm right, I just don't say anything and keep doing it. So.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm 20 years into it, so she's kind of figured me out by now, and I've figured her out. So
Aw.
Yep. Okay, what else?
So fishing, on to fishing. Fishing for the most part was slow this week with boats turning in anywhere from 0 to, I think, 29 on the bluefin. Rock fishing, for the most part, was pretty stellar for everybody in that sense. Bluefin, we saw lots of it. We just did not get a school that wanted to bite.
Well, that's crazy.
Get underneath the boat, sit there. We did hook one and lost it. And I think that was probably our best opportunity, because if we'd have hung that one fish, we probably would have hung more. If we had landed that one fish, we probably would have hung more. But, it's still in transition stage, I do believe. Can you guys hear me?
Okay, Bill, on the San Diego dock report, they did have 31 bluefin. Any idea what the grade size was?
Anywhere from 20 to 220 pounds is from what I'm understanding.
Whoa. There you go. Welcome to bluefin fishing.
Oh, yeah.
Now,
Living like a parking lot, bro.
Now, we were talking a little bit about larger fish running through a school and just causing havoc, but a bluefin swims somewhere between 40 and 50 miles an hour. Is that correct?
Say that again.
A bluefin will swim as fast as 40 to 50 miles an hour? Is that right? I don't know. I'm asking. All I know is they're a quick, powerful fish. I do know that much.
As far as how fast they swim, I couldn't tell you, but I do know that they are very, very powerful.
Yeah, they'll go up to 40, 45 miles an hour.
Well, that's just a bullet through the water then.
Well, yeah, and that stuff that you're chasing down there at
the yellowfin. I mean, those fish travel. They're traveling all the time, and I forget how much compared to their body length, they have to travel every second just to cool down.
Right.
So they have to keep traveling to cool down. If they stop traveling for very long, they overheat. So they keep moving.
Yeah, I'm not going to say it swims like 100 miles an hour. I don't know as far as speed or anything like that goes, but I do know that it is. It's. But you know what? Hang on. Let me back that up. That calico bass is probably the strongest fighting fish on the planet, I think.
Pound for pound.
Yeah.
Pound for pound, yeah. I think that calico bass or that peacock bass. Something along those lines.
Yeah. Bill,
when you look at, we
got to flip into a hard break. Give your web address and contact out for the guys that want to book a trip.
Hey guys, we would love to take you guys fishing. If you ever decide you want to do a longer trip, you can get in touch with us at horizoncharters.com. For our full day, 3/4 day, half day stuff that we do, it'd be MalihiniSportsFishing.com. You can give us a call. One number, both boats, 844-619-3474. Love to talk to you guys. Get you guys out there.
All right, Bill, we're going to wish you the rest of the best of the weekend. God love you. We appreciate your contributions, and be safe out there, and my regards to the crew on both the boats.
Done deal. Thank you, Don. Love your show too, bro. We'll talk to you guys soon. Have a blessed day.
Take care, brother. Yeah. Here's a rundown of the top 10 fastest fish, which is 70, 80 miles an hour at the top. You got the black marlin, sailfish, striped marlin, wahoo is a shaker and a mover, mako shark, Atlantic bluefin, blue shark, and the bonefish. Yes. So that's it. All right, we got to flip into a break. When we come back, we'll get this thing wiped up and cleaned up and get on with the rest of the day. I'm Don McDowell with
Taylund Stuhr,
Chris Rich,
Greg Krueger.
And we don't smoke weed with Willie or ride with Tyson. All righty, we're back. I want to thank you guys for coming down. What a great show. And even riding with Tyson's an adventure.
Oh, for sure. Always is. Doesn't matter where we're at.
I know. I was coming and he was going out. You know, I thought, you know, I got passed by an F-15 going to the gun range. Good God, what a dirt cloud that was. But, I mean, he's a gentleman. He called me and says, man, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to dust you out.
We definitely like to push the limits on our vehicles, especially our trucks out there.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So give your information out one more time and give me a list of the things that can be done down at the new enterprise.
So Dendora Valley Cattle Company .squarespace.com is our website. And then from there, you can find ways to contact us. Our address is 47007 West Poco de Niro Road, Gila Bend, Arizona, 85337. And then you can email us to get more information, Dendora Valley Cattle Company @gmail.com. Or you can give me a quick call at 602-509-3397. And then just a little bit more of what we're doing down there. We have a mile target. You can come ride horses. You could come have dinner with cows. You can come work and run equipment if you want.
Stop. I could have dinner with cows?
Yes, you can.
Oh.
I get asked that question all the time. Hey, can we
Okay.
have dinners with your cows? And I was like, you know what? Sure, now you can.
I prefer to have cows for dinner, but that's just
I mean,
me.
I would too, but, you know, give the folks what they want, I guess.
Yeah, give the people what they want.
Yeah. All right. So how far is the horse ride? Do you have established trails, or are you establishing trails?
I'm working on it currently. Like I mentioned, we have Geronimo and a few others, so they're still learning like the rounds of the farm and just kind of what we do. Because if we do use them, it's to move cows or to just kind of mess with them so they get ridden for the day, get their workout in, kind of thing. But we're working on it. We have a few different trails we could take people down that I think would be pretty neat.
Yeah. What kind of a rodeo do you have when you first get on Mr. Geronimo?
So whenever you saddle him up, he's usually just excited. So he's like 7. He's pretty young, so he's still a baby, kind of just figuring out life and whatnot. But anyways, you put the saddle on.
We call them idiots.
That's a nicer way to put it, but I'm in a sash, so I got to be careful what I say. But
Yeah, he might be listening.
I mean, who knows? But he will usually just get excited, and then you get on him, and he will take off and do whatever the heck he pleases for about 15 minutes with you on him, full speed, run around, sit down. Like, he does not care. And then after that 15, 20 minutes, he's like, oh, okay. This is what I do.
He's just working out who's on his back.
Yeah,
Pretty
no,
much.
that-
He's just trying to figure out
what
like
he's gonna be able to get
who's
away
boss,
with.
I guess.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But he's interesting, so I try to stay away from him as much as
So
possible.
a 7-year-old horse, that's like a 16-year-old teenage
Yeah.
boy.
Pretty much.
That's what that is,
That's,
right?
that's what I said, an idiot.
Maybe
It
like
does, it
12.
does really good. Yeah, maybe a 12-year-old,
I'd say
right?
12. They're still in like the
And what
fart
I've
joke
found
stage and think
for that
everything's
age,
funny.
like you take a 12-year-old boy, right? If we have a long enough lap to send him on, then we have, after the lap, we got about 10, 15 minutes of attention time. Okay, take another lap. Give us about 10 to 15 minutes. Knocks the piss and vinegar out a little bit, and now we can talk about something.
Thank you.
Definitely need to work with them a little more before I put other folks on them to go trail riding. No liabilities here.
Yeah. Information on AZ Fly Shop.
azflyshop.com on the web. We're on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, AZ Fly Shop. The world's friendliest fly shop. We're so friendly at the fly shop that if you want to argue with us about being the friendliest in the world, we'll just ask if we can be the friendliest at this location. We're not going to argue with you. We're too friendly to argue.
That's awesome.
Wow.
Hey, it's Bass Junkies, BASSJUNKYZ.com. We've got our tournament schedule up. Retail items are running back through the website. We've also added some guides as far as links and things like that, not just in Arizona, but you'll see those in other states as well. One of the other things we have coming up, ICAST. ICAST is rolling up. That's going to be out in Florida. That's July 11th through the 14th. So that is the great, big, huge show for everything that has to do with fishing.
Land of humidity.
Yes, it is. And that'll be a real good event this year. A lot of positives coming through that. Once again, Skeeter is this next weekend. for the Skeeter Owners Tournament. And Bass Junkies kicks off our tournament season October 21st. So we had our championship. It's all put away. We're still out beating our drum about our sponsors. We really appreciate everybody that's jumped on board and look forward to a few of the others that are in the wings right now and working those out for next year.
Outstanding. Check the website. Next week we're going to have the pond information in downtown Gila Bend that we're working on. If you want to participate as a volunteer or a financial donor, we would welcome both. We'll get that out there and make that more prominent so you can know what's going on with all the NGOs and the industry. So that's a great project for that. I'm going to call it economically repressed area down there. It's there's nothing for the kids to do. Absolutely nothing. So we hope to make a difference. That's part of the conservation and preservation of the dominant species. We've got to take care of the kids before we take care of anything else. So anyway, we've got to get this thing wrapped up and get on with the day. NASCAR, Logano.
Who's your driver today? I don't think you said who your driver was.
Well, it's Byron or Larson. It's going to be a shot. Anyway, check out huntingfishing.com. Sign up for the newsletter. Like us on Facebook. Follow us on Instagram. And annoy us on Twitter. I'm Don McDowell. Take your kids fishing, hug your bass boat, and we're gone.
Hello, I'm Captain Davis Barza, Merchant Mariner.